Hello, campers. Welcome to this session. I'm so happy to have you here. I'm sure you're having a very wonderful time on camp. My name is Mayawa, and I am the creative director at Editors Confectionaries, and I'll be walking you through the process of making a basic banana cake. Before we go further, I'd like to say a very big thank you to the staff of Olive Tenders and everyone that's been involved in the planning and execution of this year's virtual camp, the first of its kind. Well done, guys. I also like to say a very big thank you to Mrs. Bash for this opportunity to pass on this knowledge to you. Thank you very much, ma'am. Very quickly, like I said, we're going to be baking. I'm going to walk you through the process of making the basic vanilla cake. And I say basic vanilla cake because with a little tweaking and addition of some other ingredients, you can make different type of cakes like strawberry, coconut, banana, and what have you. You can make different types of cakes. In this video also, I'm going to be showing you, giving you some tips that will take your baking game to the next level. Now, what are we going to need? What are we going to use to make this cake? First things first, you need your measuring scale, whatever type you have, digital or analog. In case you don't have either of them, you don't have to break it down. You can also use your measuring cups and spoons. I'll show you how to use this in the course of the video. You're also going to need 250 grams of butter or margarine. I say butter or margarine because there's a difference between both of them actually. While butter is made from milk, your margarine is made from 80% of vegetable oil. Now, depending on where you are, here margarine is readily available and it's not expensive, it's affordable. Now, you're also going to need 200 to 250 grams of castor sugar. This is also called granulated sugar. Actually here, I don't like my cake to be too sweet, so I reduced it by 50 grams, so I have 200 grams of sugar here. You can also reduce your own, make sure it's not more than 100 grams difference between your sugar and your butter. It's important. If you do that, if you reduce it too much, you won't have a fluffy cake and your cake will be too oily. Don't forget, baking is a science. You need the reaction between your butter and your sugar. You also need 250 grams of all-purpose flour. All-purpose flour is readily available in the market as opposed to cake flour. If you have cake flour, you can use cake flour, but we have all-purpose flour. I'm going to be showing you how to use this to achieve the same results you would have if you had cake flour. Now I'm going to be using 5 whole eggs. You don't have to separate the yolk from the albumin. We're going to be using everything that way. We're going to need some rubber spatulas to scrape down on the sides of the bowl by the time we're mixing. If you don't have rubber spatula, you can use anything, a spoon or whatever you have at home. Just make sure you scrape down the sides and the bottom of your baking tin of your baking bowl, while you're mixing. Then we are going to be using a stand mixer. Now, you need a stand mixer with a paddle attachment. Now, if you don't have that, that's also fine. You don't have to break it. You can use your hand mixer and a mixing bowl. Now, we're also going to be using 2 6-inch pans to bake this cake. Now, we're using 2 because we don't want to have a cake that would have gotten burnt, or half of it would have gotten burnt before we finish. Now, the thing is, if you divide your batter between 2 pans, you can be sure your cakes will be fresh, evenly done, and you won't have a situation where maybe the sides of the cake would have gotten burnt because it was too much inside the pan. So I'm going to be dividing it between 2 pans. You need some kitchen towels to clean your hands and workspace. So if you don't have that, you can use this too. And then, oh, I almost forgot, you need flavoring. Now this is vanilla flavoring. This is actually an industrial type, so it's much more concentrated than this other one. So we need about just quarter of a tablespoon of this. If you're using something like this, you might need to add more, a little bit more to it to have the same desired flavor. Now, we're also going to be making use of baking powder. This is the rising agent in our cake. You don't need too much of this unless you're going to have big holes. So you just need about half of a tablespoon of this. Then you need corn flour. Now this is the magical ingredient we're going to put into this cake. So we're adding it or combining it with our cake flour, with our all-purpose flour to give us the type of consistency we have had with cake flour. So we're going to be combining 4.5 tablespoons of corn flour with all-purpose flour, and you have something very nice. Now, I have some chocolate chips here. Like I said at the beginning of this video, that it's the basic. You can have different types of cake when with this type of. You can have different types of cake with this basic vanilla cake. So we're going to be adding some chocolate chips to it to spice it up and have another type of cake. So let's get started.
So we're going to combine our dry ingredients together. That's your 250 grams of all-purpose flour, 4.5 tablespoons of corn flour, and your 3/4 tablespoon of baking powder. So just put a bowl in another bowl of your sieve and just combine all of them together. And it's important for you to sift all your dry ingredients because you don't want lumps inside there. And again, the process of sieving all of them together, you incorporate some hair into it. The hair will come in handy by the time you're baking your cake. So what you have to do is just sieve all of this together. When you're done, you can just use a quick mix with a spoon or anything. Give it a quick mix just to make sure that all of the ingredients are well combined. You don't want a situation where the baking powder is staying late and the corn flour is separated. So once that's done, you can set this aside. Now, to your mixing bowl, like I said, we're going to be using the hand mixer for the benefit of those people who don't have stand mixers. I'll show you how to use your hand mixer. So what you want to do is simply just combine your butter, 250 grams of margarine or butter, whichever one is ready that you use. I just want to use combine your butter and sugar together. This process will be called creaming. Simply, you're trying to incorporate hair into it. Set that aside. Now, your flavoring, which was a quarter of a tablespoon, just pour it into your egg. Just for them, and you're good to go with that. So now, what we want to do now is cream this together with our mixer. And then after that, I would put in 1 egg to make the process faster. Actually, you don't want to waste so much time, and you want to incorporate as much hair as you can, as fast as you can. So all I'm just going to do here is, what I have here is 250 grams of butter and 200 grams of granulated sugar. I'll be creaming this just simply with incorporating hair into the mixture. Do you understand? So that all of them are well combined, both ingredients are well combined, and you can have as much hair as possible once you can use this. So just do it. When you can no longer see a visible sign of your sugar, it's time to add your 1 egg separated initially. So just add it like that. And then you scrape down the side of your bowl with your rubber spatula or anything that you have actually. Just make sure you get the side and also underneath it. Scrape it down. I'm going to cream this for about 5 minutes. I'll show you what it looks like after creaming for about 5 minutes. What the batter looks like after about 5 minutes of mixing. See, the color has changed. It has become lighter, or some people call it, it has become pale and cream actually. This is because we've been able to combine butter and sugar together. Now, before we go further, I have to remind you that at this stage you should have preheated your oven to about 140 degrees Celsius. This is the right temperature for this vanilla cake to be. It comes out very well at 150 degrees Celsius. What happens if you don't have an oven? That's okay, you don't have to bring it down. You can simply use a pot like this, fill it up with some sand, and put a stand there so that your pan will be in direct contact with the sand. Actually, so what I started with is before I got my own oven. So you can also do this. Whichever one you're using, the oven or this, make sure you heat it about 150 degrees so that it will be ready for your cakes to bake. Now, we're going to continue mixing this for the next 5 minutes. Afterwards, we're going to combine the other ingredients like the egg and the dry ingredients that are mixed. Okay guys, so I've been mixing this for like 5 minutes now. So this is ready. Okay, sorry guys. Okay guys, I've been mixing this now for about 10 minutes now. So this is ready. I can add the other ingredients. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be adding the eggs into this batter mixture one after the other. Now make sure I've mixed one completely, like I can't stay to the surface any longer before I add the next one. After I've added all 4 eggs we have in here, 4 whole eggs here, I'm going to then add the flour, corn flour and baking powder mixture into the batter. Then we then divide the batter into the pan. I've already prepared the pan. In case you don't know how to prepare your pans, just hold on, I'll show you how to do this because of this video. So I've prepared the 2 simple pans that I want to prepare for the course of this video. So let's get started. Don't forget, one after the other. Then the final egg. Okay. So once this is done, I'll just scrape down the side of my bowl. In case there are other any mixture that has not been combined, we have to combine it to actually. So once it's done now, I'm going to add mixture to the dry ingredients. Now you might want to divide it into like 3, just eyeball it and divide it like 3. So you put it into the mixture 3 times. Now at this point, when you are putting it in, you don't want to over mix this mixture because it's going to get tough and you don't want tough cake. What you want is a fluffy and creamy cake. So I'll just eyeball it. now this is done, I want to scrape down the side of the bowl so I can catch any mixture or any flour that's still on the side. So scrape down the side. Give it a quick mix for like 30 seconds and our pasta is ready. Okay, our batter is ready. What is left now to do is to put this into the pans and then just put them into the oven. Don't forget the oven at this point will have been preheated to about 150 degrees Celsius. Okay, let's divide them into the pans. Okay, so like I said, we're going to be using two 6 inches now. To divide this batter evenly, you can either eyeball it, use your eyes to measure and just do some eyeballing to make sure you have equal quantity, or you could use your measuring scale here. So I'm going to use the measuring scale to divide this batter into so what I just have to do is turn and then the idea is to make sure you put the same quantity inside the same pan. And the same quantity inside the both pans. So, I'm going to be putting about 300 grams each into the pan. 350 grams each. Still have some excess, so I can still put it into. So this is what is left here now is too small to actually make another 6 inch pan and 6 inch pan. Not too small actually, but I'd rather use them to make cupcakes or any other. At this point, what you want to do is just shake the batter in a little bit. You can tap it a little, just to allow any clear pores to get out of it. You can also use your rubber spatula to even it out a little bit on top of it. Then now we're going to put some chocolate chips, and it's just decorated. Then we're going to put this into our already preheated oven. I'll show you later what this looks like after. Okay, so like I said earlier, I was going to show you how to use your measuring cups to measure your ingredients if you don't have a digital measuring scale. Now, these cups come in sizes actually. Sizes are easy to make. For instance, this is 1 cup, this is half a cup. We have other sizes here, so the sizes are usually always written on the You can't go wrong with it. So once you want to measure in 1 cup, take the 1 cup and then measure. Now, I have some flour here. I didn't measure it. Just put in some. I just put some inside the bowl. I also have pasta sugar here and melted sugar. Now, for you to measure your flour, it will be very wrong for you to dip your measuring cup into it, because what you're going to be having is excess flour, because in the process of dipping it in, you compress the flour and you're going to be having it. So let me show you why I said it's wrong. Now, it is wrong to do this. If you do this, you have excess flour because you compress it and you have much more than you require. So what you're supposed to do is pick another spoon or spatula or something else and put it inside this way. Put it inside this way. Keep putting it in. And then when you're done, when you've reached the brim and you're sure you've reached the brim, all you have to do is just scrape it this way, pushing up the excess you have. So this is one perfect cup of all-purpose flour. Once you're done with this, you can just put it inside the bowl. Now you have 1 cup of flour. Now, like I said, it is wrong to dip, because by the time you're dipping, you're compressing the flour and you're going to have excess flour. Now, that's for 1 cup. Now let's just have it up. Let's measure half a cup of pasta sugar and melted sugar. Now for this one, you can dip it in, because it's not like flour that can get compressed. This one won't get compressed, so you can always dip it in like this. But at the same time, you have to level it up. If you don't level it up, you have much more than you require. So you level it up and you have a perfect half cup of sugar. So you just dump it in and you're good to go. Same goes with this, your spoon. If you're going to use your spoon, if you're using it for flour, don't dip it in. Pour and then scrape it. I'll do that again. Pour and then scrape it. And then you got it. If you want to use your flour, your sugar too, you do the same thing this way and you scrape it. Now, is it wrong for you to pack, to do this work with sugar? No, it's not wrong. And there you go. That's how to measure your dry ingredients using your measuring cups. And I was going to show you how to get your pan ready for baking. So what you need is a clean pan. I'm using an 8-inch pan here. You need a clean pan. You need some water or margarine, whichever one you have. It doesn't have to be fancy, it's just something. And you need some flour, which is just the pan. Now, why do we have to get a pan ready? If you don't do this process before you put in your batter, what you have is your cake won't be able to come out. It's going to get stuck to the pan. So the process of greasing or preparing this pan, you make sure that by the time your cake is done and you're ready to bring them out of the pan, you won't have the cakes will get stuck into it. So this part is very, very important. You have to learn how to grease your pan very well. If you don't do it well, your cakes will get stuck, or a part of it will get stuck. So let's start. Just take some butter, and usually what I advise is target the edges first. Do you understand? This edge, target it. Put in the rocks as much as possible. Put in as much as possible. Round it. Put in as much as possible. Once it has gone around it, if you need more, pick more, and then the base. It's very important. If this base is not well placed, your cake is still going to get stuck to it. So why I targeted the edges first, I don't want the edge messing up by the time I bring it out. I need it to be as smooth and accurate as possible. Then I target the base. So the base is also very important, that this base is getting very greased. If it's not properly greased, it's not going to come out well. Now, be sure to apply. Be generous with it. Be generous with it. If you're not generous with it, your cake is going to get stuck. So you're better be generous with it. If you need more, add more to it. The idea is I don't want to see any part that is not properly greased. Now when you have done this and you are satisfied with it, all you just have to do is put in some flour. Once you put in some flour, you tap, going round the edges all over again and the base. You tap and tap. By the time you are done with all of this, you find out that you take out the excess. Don't forget to take out the excess flour. By the time you are done with all of this, you see a well greased and prepared pan. Now, if this pan wasn't well prepared, you won't have it all powdered like this with flour. You see some spots, it will become very ugly. So you have to do this well. I can't stress this. But I can't overemphasize. You have to do this well. If you don't do it well, your cake will get stuck in the pan and not the effort. So this is how to prepare your pan for baking. Cakes are ready. So this is what one of them looks like. So beautifully. It came out very, very, very pretty and nice. So now all I'm going to do is pop this out of the pan and show you what it looks like. So you could use anything, a knife, a spoon. I'm just going to be using the back of this here. Just run it around the edges of your pan. Release it. Do you understand? Once you've done that, tap it a little bit, and it moves, and flip it over a board or anything. Voila! See? The cake came out very nice, and you can simply flip this back. You see what it looks like. Very beautiful cake. Very, very, very nice. I can't wait to actually eat it. I don't know about it. It smells very nice. So I'm going to be showing you the final height of it, of the cake. So this is the first one, and then the second one. So this is what your cake looks like at the end of the day. Of course, I didn't trim it at the end of the day. You're going to ice this, so I have to trim it a little bit so that you have very deep inside. This is what the cake looks like afterwards. So all the batter that we mixed is what we had in the middle. So it was good that we put it into two parts. Imagine if it was just one pan. So that we got it burnt very, very before it got done. So thank you very much. Send your questions. Let me know your complaints, or if you do not get any complaints, let me know. Thank you very much. We just enjoy the rest of it.